In our last video we had a look at fermentation and fermenters, spunding valves and etc. So today we're going to have a look at, I'll show you a bit of a keg transfer. It'll be out of a movie that I've done, out of a video that I've done, but we'll have a bit of a look at that during the video. We'll have a look at some kegs that I use, and then we'll pop up and we'll get a beer out of the keezer. After a hard day's work we might have a beer. So sit back, grab a beer, enjoy the video, and we'll see you later. So once we've got the beer in the kegs, which I normally do out of the pressure fermenter with a oxygen-free pressure transfer, and then we chill them down and get them ready to serve. So I use mainly these kegs. The one on the left is a little 5 litre fella, great for parties, great for leftovers. That's currently got smashing Sabro in it. Anyone that hasn't tried the Sabro hop, I highly recommend them, and they go very well by themselves. So that's a 5 litre party keg or overs keg. Next to it I've got the 9.5 litre corny keg, and they're very handy also. Good solid keg. And then of course then we go to the 19 litre corny, and then as I showed before, we have right on the end there, I've got the juniors, which you can ferment, serve out of, ferment in or serve out of, or whatever. So normally I'll just put the CO2 on the keg at serving pressure and patiently let it gas up, carbonate up. Sometimes I want it a bit quicker, so I'll use a carbon cap. It's just an air stone, a corny lid. Process, you just put 2 psi into it, come back a few hours later, put 5 in, come back a few hours later, put 8 in, come back a few hours, and load it up. So it'll load it up and it will carbonate a keg to your whatever pressure you want in a day and a half, 2 days, ready to drink. So for my dispensing, I use ultra taps. What we're looking at there now is a Kegging twist ultra tap. These taps are fantastic to go straight onto your keg, and they have a twist control, so you can control the pressure and the flow just by twisting the handle. They're a great idea. They're only as dear as the normal tap, and I've got a couple of them that I use especially on the party kegs. I also use them if I want to use my ultra-fill, which I have a video out on the ultra-fill, if I want to use the ultra-fill to fill bottles from the fermenter. And then next to it, mini regulator that takes 16 gram, takes the 16 gram CO2, and it's quite simple. It works well, you just put it on the gas post. Okay, when I bottle, I normally use the Grolsch style bottles. I buy these from my local homebrew shop. So the smaller one's a 500ml bottle. As you can see, I've got no label on that because the bigger labels don't really fit on them. So that's, I might get on to Kegging, I suppose, and see if they'll make a smaller label for them. But anyway, they don't sell these bottles, I don't think. And even if they did, I'd buy them from my local guy, to be honest. And then the large one is a 700ml bottle, or 750, and it at the moment has a brew in it, the Swooping Magpie, which I might crack one of them today. And that's what I do with my leftovers, or not leftovers, but the additional I've got in the fermenters. I just use the ultrafill and put it in bottles and carbonation drop. Okay, so we've come to the end of the ferment of the Smashing Sabra that we've been watching. So now it's time to transfer into the kegs. So this transfer will be done. I just hook the gas up to the fermenter. I'll leave it there. I get 2 kegs and a bit out of it. So the gas hooks up. It's a oxygen free transfer. So out of the fermenter, I've purged a keg with sanitizer, and the keg is on scales. So what I'll do, I will transfer out and purge the keg of CO2 as we transfer to, I put 18.5 litres in each keg. So the transfer is simple, liquid to liquid, liquid post, out post, and the beer's already started to run because both the pressures are the same. But there we go. So we'll just let that go. So I'll just purge out of the keg. So there we go. Just got a spunding valve on there. I quite often use a spundy, the Kegging, the new Kegging spundy for this, because they're really easy. They're nice and easy. They do a good job. But today I've got the spunding valve off the fermenter on. So liquid to liquid, and as I say, we'll go and we'll fill this puppy up until we've got 18.5 litres, 18.6. I like to leave a bit of headroom in the kegs. So we'll do that, and we'll get 2 kegs, and with the excess I've got a little 5 litre party keg today, so instead of bottling the excess I'm going to put the excess in the little party keg. It's great for when you're sitting on the deck or something and you don't want to keep going inside for a beer. Just chuck the party keg and put a Kegging twist tap on and a mini regulator, and you just sit out on the deck there, listen to a bit of music and have a few beers, and it's pretty good. So it'd be remiss of me not to do a taste test, I guess. I put the fermenter under pressure after the dry hop, so of course it's not going to be fully carbonated. It's cold enough, it's 3.4 degrees there now, which I drink my beers on the high side of cold, especially darker beers. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the Kegging twist tap on, and I'm going to pour myself, well, in New South Wales it's a 7, I think in Queensland and it's a pot, but anyway it's 7 ounces of beer. And we'll have a look at it and see how this this smashing Sabro's come up. So this is a Kegging. That's a Kegging twist top tap. I've just got a, I normally have the metal connect on it, disconnect on it, but I've got a plastic one on this for some reason. Neat little unit, straight onto the MFL thread, straight onto the outpost. And let's pour us a beer. Oh, opened it up a bit too much there. So there we go. There's our Sabro Smash after cold crash. It's already quite clear, great colour. I really do love that Valoria schooner malt for a single malt beer. Beautiful. Here's cheers. Oh geez, that's nice. Sabro Smash. My recommendation is for anyone that hasn't tried Sabro hops and Voyager Valoria schooner malt in a smash, give it a go. She's easy drinking. 10.52 down to 10.11 for 5.4%. Not very bitter. I didn't make it very bitter. I'll put the recipe up when I put the video up. Oh, man. Notes of, I get notes of melon. Just a nice, smooth. It's not very nice to have a beer that hasn't, which isn't full of citra and galaxy and citrus and powerful hops. I mean, highly recommend it, guys. I better get it in the keg, it might go off, and we don't want that. Okay, so we've come upstairs now and we'll have a bit of a look at this Keezer I've built. First up, I'll just show you my screen that I've got up. I built this on taplist.io. It was quite simple to do, it's just a gimmick. Again, I run it off a Raspberry Pi W. So it's quite economical. It's only an old monitor, 32-inch monitor I had. So, got a bit of a beer glass there that they bought me when I retired. I got my Ultra Fill, Kegging Ultra Fill. Of course I use that if I want to bottle beer out of the kegs to take to a party. It's a great weapon, that. One of the best weapons Kegging come out with, I think. Then I have my drip tray. Little, one of the grandchildren cut me out a bit of material to jazz it up. And then of course I've got me cup of coffee, another drawing from the grandchildren. So then when we look down, I've got my gas. It's a Joule Harris 601. So the idea of the dual is I've got 6 gas lines going in there. I can fit 3 19 litre kegs and 2 9.5 litre kegs in there, in the coozer. But when I put a dark beer or a lower carb beer in there, I use the inside part of it, of the regulator, and then the normal regulator, as you can see, is set on about 1 bar, and that's because you lose a bit through these. So 1 bar is equivalent to, like, you take about 10% off that for pouring pressure. 2.6 litre bottle, which I get quite a fair bit of time out of. And then as we step back, there's my coozer. So the coozer's run by another Inkbird, and this Inkbird is also, I've graduated the Inkbird, both my Inkbirds now to Wi-Fi. I've got a bottle opener, and of course I've got a fair bit of Collingwood stuff on there. I'm a pretty big Magpie supporter. I got my 4 Ultra Taps, they're all Kegging Ultra Taps. Spanner, regulator and keg spanner, drip tray, another drip tray on the floor, which I don't know why, it never catches anything. Bottle opener there, Neil 1886. And that's just a pine collar on it. So we'll now pour a beer, and we'll see how we go. So okay, so we've had a look at the coozer. Let's have a look at the pour. Normally pour's not too bad. This is a twist tap, so it's not fully opened. It is now. That's not too bad, like that's first beer of the day. So the tap wasn't cold, the line was cold. I run my temperature higher than most, so I'd set for 3 degrees, so it varies between, say, 2.5, 3.5. I actually like my beers, especially, I just think that a beer at 3 to 5 degrees, a hoppy beer, I seem to get more of the hop flavour than an icy cold fridge at 1 or 2 degrees. You know, each to their own. Beer drinkings and each to their own things. I actually like my stouts, my porters, ESBs, and those type of beers. I'm quite happy to drink them at 6 degrees, 6 or 7. You know, I believe that takes, I don't know, it smooths them out, I believe. Anyway, we'll top this one up a little bit, not much. I'm not worried about a bit of head there. We'll just put a bit more beer in him. It's nice, 2 fingers. So guys, that's a look around the brewery. Wasn't a bad day. Just show you some of the stuff that I've got, things that I use, things that I make. I like what I make. That finishes our series of 3 videos from brewing an all grain beer, fermenting and getting it in a keg and getting it out of the keg, and the product that we make. It's a great hobby, and I do believe you can save money. It's quite a quest to save money with everything that's going on, but I do believe you can save money. But one of the main things, or one of the most enjoyable things about home brewing, is you can make whatever you like. You can make it how you like, and there's a wide variety of ways to ferment it, explore. So it's a great journey, and hopefully the series of 3 videos I've made may encourage some people to get in and enjoy the hobby, and it is a hobby. So until we make another beer, I bid you farewell and enjoy the hobby and enjoy the product that you make. Neil from Magpie Brewing saying farewell.